Gentlemen, it's Todd and Ryan as we're going to talk about this year's Kentucky Derby 144. Wagering begins tomorrow at any OTB location, easy bet location, BataviaBets.com, Ryan, or right here at the track, self-service terminals or at our simulcast center. Ryan, what do you think about the field this year?
Well, it's a wide open race, Todd, and I think one of the things that we talk about is that when a race is wide open like this, that means people are placing more wagers to cover more horses to make sure that they can possibly win, and that just means more pools for those bettors out there.
Yeah, certainly a lot of value in this year's Derby, a lot of different ways you can go, many horses capable of winning. I don't think we've said this in 20 or 25 years. When you have a field this deep with so many horses, the trip is going to be huge. What happens at the starting gate is going to be huge. You know, every year horses get bumped.
Right.
Impossible to predict that, so the outcome is basically going to be what happens out of the gate and into that first turn. We're going to go through every horse very quickly, and then we're going to tell you our wagering suggestions. We'll start with number one, Ryan, Firenze Fire, 50 to 1.
Fourth in the Wood Memorial, this horse probably not going to be much of a factor unless it rains. It's got a decent wet number, and it is at a 50 to 60% chance of rain right now, but not sure if Fire's going to make much of an impact.
Yeah, he's not bred to go long. He's actually the worst horse in the race to run a mile and a quarter. He was a better 2-year-old. He really didn't mature at 3. I'm going to pass completely. I think he'll run last, to be honest with you. And not a very good post either, number one. Number two, people are whispering about this horse, Ryan. Free Drop Billy, 30 to 1.
Right, now this horse, obviously named after a golfing term, the owner of the stable from that horse has a friend named Billy who likes the free drop on the golf course, so that's why he named him that. Fourth in the Bluegrass Stakes, Dad Union Rags, great horse, won the Belmont Stakes back in 2012. And was 9th in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile though, so I'm not sure if that horse is going to do much.
I think he actually went off the favorite in the Kentucky Derby. Free Drop Billy, I got to tell you, he's bred. He's one of the best bred horses at the distance, and he did have trouble in the Bluegrass. He may have been second. He was badly impeded in deep stretch. He's got a chance, and of course, trainer Dale Roman's very good with big price horses. Here's another Dale Roman's horse, Ryan, number 3, Promises Fulfilled, going to the front.
Right, and it won the Fountain of Youth. They won the Fountain of Youth, but performed very poorly in that Florida Derby. 30 to 1 odds. Not sure how much of a factor they're going to be on Saturday.
Will be a part of the pace for sure. He went too fast in the Florida Derby. Went 21 and 4, which is sizzling. But unfortunately for him, there's so much speed in this race. He figures to falter. Number 4, another front runner, Flame Away. This one also 30 to 1.
Second in the Bluegrass States, Dad was Scat Daddy, a decent horse there, and odds again at 30 to 1. This is for Flame Away, correct? Number 4. The grandfather was actually Fushi Pegasus, which was a winner of the Kentucky Derby.
Right. I just don't like his running style. I think he's going to be forwardly placed. It's not the worst horse, however, but I think he's going to have a long day. Number 5, now here's the Florida Derby winner, and the Florida Derby's been red hot the last 10 years. That's Audible right now at 8 to 1.
With Gigi Castellano in the back, Todd Pletcher is the trainer. Really great horse. Got a sponsorship deal with Amazon and Audible.com, which is audiobooks. So, again, a very, very good horse. And the number 5 post did win last year as well.
That's right. Now, Audible's got a good running style for this race. There is a lot of speed in the race. He'll sit just off. Castellano takes off both the oar to ride for Todd Pletcher. Not real crazy about Todd Pletcher's record in the Derby. He's only had 2 wins in over 50 starts, so he hasn't been dominant in the Derby. He did win last year. Definitely a usable horse. And as we said earlier, last time in the Florida Derby, below 2 to 1, getting 8 to 1. That's a spectacular price. 6, last year's Eclipse champion, and he's been training good. What do you think of the Good Magic?
First in the Bluegrass Stakes, Dad is Curlin. Got a great wet number. Decent horse, and at 12 to 1, that's a great price.
Another horse where in the Bluegrass he was under 2 to 1. He probably doesn't go off at 12. He's been training sensationally. He's been training one of the best of all the horses at Churchill Downs in preparation for this Derby. Trainer Chad Brown has had this horse ready. He said, I'm going to have this horse at the top of this game in his 3rd start, and this is his 3rd start this year. Watch out for the 6, Good Magic. What about the favorite, Ryan, the 7, Justify? How much do you take into account the curse?
Well, the curse has been going for 135 years, so obviously there might be something to it. There is something to be said about having a horse get used to the crowd, get used to other horses, just get used to the grind that is going to the track, being in the van or a plane, whatever it might be. Justify with 2 legends, with him. Mike Smith and Bob Baffert is the trainer. This horse only has raced 3 times, and obviously he won the Santa Anita Derby, but the race he won before was just a simple maiden special weight race or whatever it was. So.
He won it, broke his maiden, then he won the allowance race. He's a massive horse, Ryan. He weighs about 1,260 pounds. The average thoroughbred is about 1,100 pounds. His stride is gigantic. When the other ones look like they're huffing and puffing, he's just strolling along. He could be racing's next superstar, but that does not mean he'll win on Saturday. And don't forget Curlin, who we've already mentioned. He was another horse under the curse, and he did not win the Derby. Went on to be Horse of the Year. Very interesting. The question: do you want to take 3-1 on a horse with question marks? We'll have to see what our customers do. Number 8, a big long shot, Lone Sailor, 50-1.
Second in the Louisiana Derby, and again, as you mentioned, a long shot. It was beaten at the wire, but really against lesser horses in a Grade 2 race.
Been training good. Might be a horse to throw into your tries and supers. If he hits the board, your prices will be massive. Here's the wise guy horse, Ryan, number 9, Hofburg. Everybody's talking about him.
Second in the Florida Derby there, and his dad, AP Indy, won the Breeders' Cup Classic and the Belmont. He's got a good wet number, and again, pretty decent value there at 20-1.
He was second behind Audible in the Florida Derby. He's one of those 3 horses that is bred to get the distance. Since he's arrived at Churchill Downs, he's really picked up his training, and his Hall of Fame trainer, Bill Mott, does not rush his horses. Bill Mott horses never win first time out, and they just continue to get better as they race. And Hofburg has been getting all the whispers. I don't think he goes off 20-1, Ryan. Too many people are talking about him.
Absolutely.
I think he's going to be less. Here's another long shot now. If it does rain, the horse that likes the mud or has at least performed the best is the 10, My Boy Jack. What do you think?
Third in the Louisiana Derby, and first or second in 6 of his 9 lifetime races. He's got Seattle Slim. He's got Secretariat in his lineage. He's at 15-1, and he's got Keith and again the Dormisu brothers there. They're going to be training and riding him on Saturday. Again, a good value there at 15-1.
The Sormo actually rode Exaggerator last year and won the Preakness with him. Don't like his last race. He worked too hard in the Lexington. Lexington is not a very good Derby prep. He'd have to improve, but if it does rain, watch out. He might go better. How about the 11? Bolt Doro. This is a very logical horse, just 8-1.
This is actually my favorite horse. I read a great article about this horse, how he was trained in Montana. He wasn't trained in California or down in Florida. They bought him at one of those the sales, the yearling sales. They took him up to Montana, let him breathe the cold mountain air, work the trails, look at bears and owls, and I kind of equate it to Rocky IV. If you remember in Rocky IV, Rocky trains in the, down in Russia when he's about to fight Drago. He trains in like the wilderness, and I think this horse has kind of got that. Victor Espinosa, the jockey on American Pharoah, the Triple Crown winners on his back, and a second in the Santa Anita Derby, only to justify. This horse really has a lot of potential.
Yeah, I'm not sure he wants to go on a mile and a quarter. He just doesn't finish his races. Justify did pull away from him at the end last time, but then again, Justify made an easy lead. I think he's a horse you have to use. He's too consistent. He was a great 2-year-old. He had a bad trip in the Breeders' Cup. He was too wide. And like you say, Espinosa will not get nervous in front of those horses. The only knock is the trainer. He's only won 3 races this year. He's not one of the top trainers. We'll have to see, but he's definitely a horse you have to use. Number 12, Enticed, a big long shot at 30-1.
Second in the Wood Memorial, and of course the Wood Memorial hasn't really produced much recently, so it's tough to really do anything. Did finish first in the Gotham and has a little bit of good lineage, but again, 30-1, pretty much a long shot.
His mother was a champion racehorse. It's tricky. Another one I'm not sure he wants to run a mile and a quarter. 13, Bravazzo, trained by the legend D. Wayne Lucas.
But 8th in the Louisiana Derby and 50-1, I'd look elsewhere, that's for sure.
Yeah, I would definitely. I just don't think he belongs in the race. He's not fast enough. Here's another favorite with question marks. All our favorites in this race, and that's why it's so interesting, has question marks. 14, the well-bred, royally bred Mendelssohn.
Now, Mendelssohn is a Kentucky-bred horse, but he spent most of his time overseas. Just won the United Arab Emirates Derby, which of course got him some Derby points to get into the Derby. And Mendelssohn, he's got good breeding. His dad was Scad Daddy. He won the Juvenile, so he was kind of crowned as the favorite when he won the Juvenile back in November. A really good horse, but no horse, Todd, has ever won coming over from Europe for the Kentucky Derby.
This is a unique race because not only do you have the juvenile winner on dirt, Good Magic, but you have the juvenile winner on turf, Mendelssohn. And Mendelssohn, like you say, set a track record in the UAE Derby. 3-year-olds this time of year do not set track records. Yes, the track was a little sped up. He just arrived in this country on Monday. Yeah. He's been in quarantine for a couple of days, which means he hasn't been on the racetrack. I don't like that. I think he's going to be overbet. He was purchased for $3 million just to be a stand because he's so well bred. He's a sibling to Beholder, one of the greatest race mares ever. We'll have to see. A lot of people taking a stand against. A lot of people like him. He's just an interesting horse, a favorite with question marks. Here's a big long shot. He's actually bred to run long, Ryan. Number 15, Instilled Regard.
4th in the Santa Anita Derby. His dad was Arch, who did, make a little bit of noise in the Breeders' Cup Classic. But again, he's got a good wet number. So if it does rain, with that 60% chance of rain, maybe you take a look. But again, long shot at 50 to 1 for sure.
Yeah, I don't like him at all. I just don't think he's fast enough, but he is bred to run a mile and a quarter. Him and the others I mentioned, Free Drop Billy and also Hoffberg, along with one other that we're going to mention in a second, are bred the best for the mile and a quarter. Another question mark horse, Ryan, third choice on the morning line. Unbeaten, hard to knock, but he does have the curse. That's the 16 Magnum.
Like you said, never lost. First in the Arkansas Derby, and does have a good lineage with Seattle Slew and AP Indy, but we'll have to see. Can he beat the curse?
That's right, and also he's been drifting out. He drifted out badly in the Arkansas Derby. He ended up almost along the fence. In his workouts, he's also drifted out. That's normally not a good sign. We'll have to say, I know one thing, we'll have to see. I'm taking a stand against the 16 Magnum Moon. Here's the other well-bred distance horse. This horse is bred to run forever, the 17 Solomini. 30 to 1 on a Bob Baffert horse. How is that possible, Ryan?
Legend Bob Baffert is the trainer here. Third in the Arkansas Derby. He's finished first, second, or third in all 6 of his lifetime starts. Got great breeding, got curling in there. He's got a good wet number if it does rain. And like you said, bred to go the distance. So a decent value at 30 to 1. Might have to include him.
Got to include him, Ryan. And they're going to change his running style. They're going to take him back, and they're going to make him make a late run. Sometimes horses love that, and they'll get mad because they can't run, and they'll take off. Other times it doesn't work. I got to use him at 30 to 1, Ryan. Here's another Wise Guy horse, the 18 Vino Rosso, the winner of the Wood Memorial.
Again, another horse that has good breeding with curling, and I was going to say at 12 to 1, a very good value. Not a lot of people are talking about him, but you got Todd Pletcher and you got Velasquez on his back. Definitely a horse you have to consider.
The word was out on him at Aqueduct and the Wood Memorial. The word was that he hated the surface of Tampa Bay Downs. Tampa Bay is a very sandy racetrack. He was spinning his wheels. They shipped him up to New York, and he whistled in the wood. I wasn't a big fan of him, to be honest with you, but with all the whispers and the way he's trained at Churchill Downs, I think I am now going to use him. I wasn't going to use him before. The 19, another Pletcher horse, Noble Indy, winner of the Louisiana Derby.
Absolutely, and 3 and 4 lifetime starts. He's won AP, Indy, and Seattle Slew in the lineage with Todd Pletcher. Again, he's got 4 horses. 4 horses in this race, so certainly somebody to look at, Noble Indy.
The Louisiana Derby has just not produced enough good enough results for me in the Derby. I'm going to pass on him, and I don't like the post 19. You're getting out there where these post positions now become a factor.
Yes.
And then another huge long shot combatant, 50 to 1. It'll probably go off higher than that. What do you think of him?
Yeah, 4th in the Arkansas Derby and a 50 to 1. Got some decent breeding, but that post is going to be really tough to overcome.
Yeah, he makes a late run, so if something crazy happens on the front end and these horses start fading, and it is a very long race, perhaps combatant can hit the superfecta. All right, Ryan, we've given him information about all 20 horses. It's time to make your pick. Who's going to win this race?
I got Bolt de Oro, number 11 is my pick for the race here today, and then number 10, My Boy Jack's going to be my long shot favorite.
Wow, My Boy Jack, hoping for the rain. I'm going with Justify. If you're friends with me on Facebook, I've said right along when he broke his maiden, I can't go against this horse. The Gorilla, you can have any name for him. He may be racing next superstar, who knows. He's done something. This is an incredible stat. In the last 25 years, only 18 horses out of 75,000 horses bred have been able to put together 3 speed figures over 100. He's one of 18, and only the second horse in the history of the Kentucky Derby to do that. He's a sensational horse. Does that mean he's going to win on Saturday? Absolutely not. There's a lot of other factors, but I think he's the horse to beat. Good magic, been training as good as any horse at Churchill. I respect trainer Trad Brown. He said he'll have him ready for this race, and I agree with him. Bolt Doro, they're too consistent to leave out. He's been chasing Justifying his last start. And the Florida Derby winner, Audible, perfect running style for this race. There's so many others you can use. It's a wide open race. Tell us about the betting.
So we've got advanced wagering available on Friday. You can go to any OTB branch, easy bet, come right here at Batavia Downs. Then on Saturday, we got a lot of different things going on. You can go to your OTB branch. We're going to have volunteers there kind of giving you the spiel on how to make your wagers. We've got drawings for for glasses and also for t-shirts. If you come to Batavia Downs, we've got the big party downstairs in the paddock room. It's $15. You get your choice of a meal as well as a soft drink. You also get a $2 wager on the Derby and a $15 free play out here on the gaming floor once you earn 1 point. If you want to dress up nice, come to the Batavia Downs Derby Gala. It's $50. You can buy tickets on BataviaConcerts.com. We are more than halfway sold out, so don't delay on buying those tickets. You're going to get yourself $25 in free play. You're going to get a $10 wager on the Derby. You're going to get grazing stations. You're going to get an open bar. That starts at 4:30, goes till 7. The party downstairs in the paddock is going to go from 11 a.m. Or 11:30 a.m. up until about 7 o'clock, and in all different places, whether it's 34 Rush, whether it's inside of the paddock room or upstairs, we're going to have various liquors, wines, and beers here, doing some sampling. So really, it's a great way to just come on out and just have a great day.
That's right. Advanced wagering starts tomorrow, 10 a.m. You can wager right until the branches close at 10 p.m. And then, of course, Kentucky Derby Day, all OTB locations, 10 a.m. You can wager right until the last horse goes into the gate. Expected to be out about 6:50. Race number 12. Churchill Downs. Come out, make it a great day. Lots of money to be won. For Todd, for Ryan, I'm Todd. Kim, good luck, everybody.